Hello children, we saw in our last class that is our chapter is matter and thus pure. Okay, that is in your textbook it is a lesson number 2. Okay, so in that we saw what is a matter and the two types of matters, that is which is the matter is around us, okay, in our surroundings. That matter is having pure substances and impure substances. Okay, so we know about the pure and impure substances in our last class, and based on that there is a two types of pure substances, that is elements and compounds. These are about compounds also. Okay, so let us see elements in our last, okay, in the last of this lesson. Okay, so then we move on to the impure substances. Impure substances, that is mixtures. Okay, the mixture of pure and any other particle with it. Okay, so that we can say it is an impure substances. Impure substances are having also types. Okay, what are the types of impure substances? We are having solutions. Okay, solutions, suspensions and colloids. Okay, before this we saw the types of impure substances, that is homogeneous types of mixtures and heterogeneous types of mixtures. These two types of mixtures. So homogeneous means same kind and heterogeneous means different types of particles are mixing with it. Okay, that we can say is a heterogeneous mixture. And then we saw that is solutions, suspensions and colloidal solutions. And the properties of solutions also we saw, and properties of colloidal solutions and properties of suspensions also we saw in our last class. Is it right? Okay, and then we saw one more concept, that is Tyndall effect. Okay, so this Tyndall effect shows only in the suspensions. Okay, because of the particles we can see easily in the suspensions. Okay, so that in that we can observe the Tyndall effect also. Okay, and in solutions and colloidal solutions we can't observe the Tyndall effect. Okay, now let us move on to the new topic. This here, that is terms related to solutions. Terms related to solutions. So what are the terms related to solutions? We have that is in the form of dilute and concentrated. Okay, terms related to solutions. Okay, the first one is that is dilute solution and concentrated solution. Dilute and concentrated solution. Okay, so dilute and concentrated, these terms are related to the solution. Okay, and then we can see the another terms, that is saturated solutions and unsaturated solutions. Okay, saturated solutions and unsaturated solutions. Okay, dilute and concentrated solutions. Okay, and as same saturated and unsaturated solutions. And then we have the third term, that is related to solution solubility. Solubility. Okay, solubility. So these are the terms which is related to the solutions. These are the terms which is related to the solutions. See once again, dilute and concentrated solution, saturated and unsaturated solutions, and solubility. Okay, these are the terms which is related to the solutions, and we can know about these terms. Okay, what is meant by dilute and concentrated solution? What is meant by dilute and concentrated solution? So what is meant by dilute? You all know. Okay, we are using any other that is acids. Okay, so we are using the acid contents. Okay, that is cleaning substances. Okay, that we can dilute it, and then we can add, we can use to clean the floors and all. Okay, we are how to dilute. So while using the liquid, okay, water, so that is a solvent. Okay, we can say it is a solvent. The particle which we want to dilute, that we can say it is a solute. Okay, so you know in a solution we have two components. What are the two components? Solute and solvent. Solute and solvent. I am giving you a very easy example. Okay, that is we are using Dettol to clean our floor. Okay, so you are nowadays we have so many chemical products. Okay, but in olden days, from olden days itself we are using flows. So while cleaning the flows, we can't use Dettol as such as, okay, because it is concentrated. Okay, so we want to dilute it and we can use that. Okay, so how to dilute? See here, that Dettol is a solute. Okay, we are mixing with that Dettol to water. So water is a solvent. Okay, water is a solvent. Okay, so now we can say these two are in a mixtures. Okay, so we are making in a solution. Okay, so in this we are using less amount of solute and more amount of solvent. Okay, less amount of solute and more amount of solvent. This we can say is a dilute solution. Okay, what is a dilute solution? Less amount of solute particles in a solvent. Okay, so solvent is more than the solute. That we can say is a dilute solution. Dilute solution. And we want the concentrated solution. What is mean the concentrated solution? So concentrated means more amount of solute and less amount of solvent. More amount of solute and less amount of solvent. While washing the flows, okay, we are using dilute solutions. While washing the washrooms, okay, so washrooms we are using the concentrated solutions because there is so much of dust particles in them. Okay, so we are using the concentrated solution. What is mean the concentrated? Less amount of solute and more amount of solute and less amount of solvent in it. Okay, that we can say it is a concentrated solution. Okay, so in a solution, what are the two components? Solute and solvent. So based on these three words, okay, so these terms are related to based on these two components in a solutions. Okay, so these terms are related to solution. Okay, these terms are related to solution based on the components which is present in the solution. Okay, solute and solvent. Okay, so then saturated and unsaturated solution. So saturated solution, what is mean by saturated solution? Okay, if we are taking a solution while heating, okay, so at this temperature in a solvent, okay, we are taking a solute to dissolve it in a solvent. Okay, at the given temperature. Okay, the temperature we can take it as a limited, okay, temperature. Okay, so this temperature we are taking it as, I am taking 30 degrees Celsius is limited temperature. Okay, so in this temperature, okay, in this limited temperature, we have to dissolve the solute in the solvent. Okay, we have to dissolve the solute particles in a solvent. Okay, so here we are dissolving the solute particle in a solvent in the given temperature, that is a limited temperature 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, so the solute, that is the ability of solute to dissolve in a solvent. Okay, that is it can be more than that. Okay, we are taking a limited solute to dissolve in the solvent. Okay, but that limited solute is dissolved fully and then we can dissolve some more solutes also in the solvent. Okay, that can be able to dissolve it in it, that is solvent. Okay, so here, so listen carefully. Here we are taking the temperature is limited temperature 30 degrees Celsius. In that we are taking a solvent. We are taking solute particles to dissolve in this solvent. Okay, so that particles are fully dissolved in it. Okay, and then we can take some more particles, solute particles also to dissolve in it. That we can say it is a saturated solution. It can be able to more solute particles in it. Okay, that we can say it is a saturated solution. Okay, but in a given temperature, okay, at a limited temperature, the solvent can be able to dissolve in it as the given solvent only, not the more solute particles to dissolve in it. Okay, so it can be dissolved in it by the given quantity itself. Okay, not more than that solute particles in it. Okay, that we can say it is an unsaturated solution. Okay, so in solvent. Okay, in a solvent, the solute particles which is given. Okay, a given limit. Okay, the limit solute particles which can be dissolved in it fully by the limited temperature. And but also we can take more solute particles to dissolve in it. Okay, it can be able to dissolve in it by more solute particles. That we can say is a saturated solution. Okay, saturated solution. But the limited particles, the limited solute particles only can be dissolved in it. That we can say is an unsaturated solution. It cannot be dissolved the more particles in it. That solution we can say is an unsaturated solution. Understood, children? What is dilute and what is concentrated? What is saturated and what is unsaturated? Now you understood. Okay. So recall this and listen. Okay. Then solubility. What is the term solubility? In the term itself, there is a meaning. Okay. The solute particles can be able to solve. Okay. That we can say it is a ability of the solute particles. That we can say solubility of the solution. Okay. Solubility of the solution means the ability to dissolve in a solvent. The ability of the solute particles which is dissolved in a solvent. That we can say it is a solubility of a solution. Okay. So solubility is based on the temperature of the constituents which is present in the solutions. Okay. Temperature of the, that is the able temperature. Okay, it can be dissolved in a solvent. Okay, that is the effect of temperature on the solubilities. Okay, the effect of temperature of the solubilities are difference in different states of the constituents which is in the solutions. Okay, we can make a solutions. These are the different types of solutions are there. Okay, by the states. Okay, the constituents we can take solid and liquid. We can make a solution, and gas and liquid we can make a solutions, and solid and gas we can make a solution. Okay, we can use to make a solution. So the different states are having different types of temperature to make a solutions. Okay, here that is the difference. That is the solubility is differs based on the effect of the temperature of the constituents which we are used to make a solutions. Understood, children? Okay, what I am telling, I thought you are all able to understand. Okay, then we move on to the another topic, that is separation of mixtures. Okay, so how to separate the mixtures? So the impure substances, these are the solutions, suspensions and colloidal suspensions. Before that, there is no chemical effect, only the physically mixtures. Okay, only the physically mixtures of the constituents. Okay, so but there is no chemical effect. Here we can have a chemically mixtures also. We can solve, that is solution, suspensions and colloidal solutions. So how to separate the mixtures here? Okay, so we have a different types. Okay, let us see about that different types of separating methods. Okay. Types of separating methods. Of mixtures. Okay, so the types of methods of the mixtures, types of separating methods of the mixtures. We have a different types of separating methods. Okay, let us see what are the different separating methods. Okay, the first one, filtration. The first one is filtration. Then second one is evaporation. Okay, you all know these terms now. Say again. Filtration, then evaporation, then crystallization. Crystallization. And then we have a chromatography. Chromatography. And then we have sublimation. Okay, sublimation. Then separating by immiscible liquids. Okay, separation of two immiscible liquids. Separation of two immiscible liquids. Okay, what is meant by immiscible? What is meant by miscible? Okay, the miscible means there is no, so miscible means there is a combine with each other, but immiscible means there is no combination of each other. There is not mixture. Okay, they are not mixing with each other fully. Okay, it can be a that is it can a path in between that. Okay, so it can be having a one by one. Okay, so that we can say it is an immiscible liquids. Okay, that is not mixed thoroughly. Okay, so then this is the separation method of two immiscible liquids. This is done by a separating funnel. Okay, so by separating funnel. Separating funnel. Okay, and then we have seven, that is separation of miscible liquids. Separation of miscible liquids. Separation of miscible liquids. So separation of miscible liquids by the method of distillation. By the method of distillation. Here we have two types of distillation. We have by the normal distillation method and we have a fractional distillation method by the based on the temperatures of the constituents in the mixture. Okay, based on the temperature of the constituents of the mixture. Okay, we have a distillation method and based on the temperature that is above 25 Kelvin, below 25, above 25 Kelvin can be applied in the distillation method, but the constituents are having below 25 Kelvin, we are using a fractional distillation method. Okay, so then 8. So what is the 8th separation? Centrifugation. Okay, centrifugation. Centrifugation. And the 9th one. So the last one, that is cleaning water, cleaning the water from drinking water. That is water purification. Water purification method. Water purification method. So these are the different methods of separating the mixtures. Okay, so let us see once again the topics: filtration, evaporation, crystallization, chromatography and sublimation, separation of two immiscible liquids, that is by the separating funnel, and separation of miscible liquids, that is by distillation method, and centrifugation and water purification. Okay, so these are the methods we have to separate the mixtures. Okay, so can you understand these methods? Okay, I will explain now one by one, so listen carefully. So while seeing this video, keep your textbook with you. Okay, by seeing the pictures in it. Okay, so that is in your page number. Say page number 18. So page number 19. Okay, you have this separating methods. Okay, the first one is filtration method. So in a filtration method, filtration is a process which the solute particles, okay, solute and the solvent are separated using a filter paper. We are taking a vessel, on that vessel we are taking a filter paper on it. Okay, so we are pouring the solution. Okay, that is a mixture in the form of a solution or in any form. Okay, there is a solute and solvent particles in a solution. Okay, in a mixture. Okay, we are pouring that inside it. So the liquid form should be moving into the vessel and the solute particles. Okay, that on the filter paper, that stays on the filter paper. Okay, so that is the difference in the solubility of the constituents. So is used to separate them in this process. That is the solute particles we can have, that is in the form of precipitate, that it stays on the filter paper and solvent fully moves to the vessel. Okay, so this is the process we are separating the mixtures in the filtration method. Okay, by the filtration method we are doing this process. That is, we are taking in a vessel and on that we are getting that is filter paper. We are pouring the solution, that is mixture on the filter paper. So the solid particles are stayed on it and the solvent moves into the vessel. Okay, so this is the process we are doing the filtration method by separating the mixtures. Okay, so basically it is used to separate insoluble substances. Okay, that is example, sand with water. Okay, we are pouring the sand with water on the inside the filter paper. The sand particles all stays on the filter paper and the water. Okay, that water fully moves into the vessel. Okay, so this is the method of filtration by separating of mixtures. Okay, so the substance which remains, so which is not soluble, okay, that remains behind the filter paper and is called residue. Okay, that we can say is a residue. Okay, which one which is filtered out is called filtrate. Okay, so which are the particles, solid particles which stays on the filter paper, that we can say it is a residue, and which it moves into the vessel. Okay, that we can say it is a filtrate. Okay, so that we can say it is a filtrate. For example, sand and water. Okay, I told that is filtration process. It is over. Okay, the picture it is given. So the picture is not given in your textbook. Okay, so let us move on to the another thing, that is evaporation. That is evaporation. Okay, so you all know what is evaporation. Okay, so here we are taking evaporation is a process which is used to separate the solute and solvent particles. Okay, the substance that has dissolved in water, okay, any other liquid, okay, which is dissolved in water. Okay, that is salt, sugar, I told we are dissolving in the water. Okay, or we are using, that is in nowadays we are using milk in our home. Is it right? So we are mixing the water into the milk. We are mixing water to the milk. Okay, so we are boiling this milk. We are getting a pure milk. Water substances should be evaporation. Okay, then we are getting the milk. Okay, so that is the thing, the method of evaporation. So it is given that is page number 19. The figure is given to you. So we are taking a beaker. Inside the beaker we are taking water. Okay, so there we observe the evaporations. Okay, so see the use of evaporation, the process of use of evaporation. The fact we have liquids evaporate easily, whereas solids do not vaporize easily. Okay, so here we have a solid substances. In that solid substances, the liquids can be evaporates easily. Okay, so for example, water and milk and or otherwise ink. Okay, so ink with wet ink. Okay, we can take in a watch glass. Okay, so we are taking a water in a beaker. Okay, we are boiling the water. So the watch glass should be kept on the beaker. So in that watch glass we have a ink. Okay, so that ink vaporizes. Okay, that ink can be vaporizes. In that ink, the water content should be vaporizes, and we are getting the solid ink particles. Okay, so that we can say it is a vaporization, that is evaporation. See, we are having a beaker like this. Okay, so on that we have placed a watch glass on it. So in this beaker we are having a water. Okay, so we are boiling using the burner. We are boiling using this water by burner. Okay, so in this beaker we have a water. Okay, so we are boiling this water. On this watch glass we have a ink. You know the ink, no? We are using to write. Okay, this ink we are having. Okay, while boiling the water, this boiled water heats on this touches on the watch glass. Okay, so on the watch glass we have a ink. So that ink evaporates. Okay, so in that ink there is a water content. Is it right? So that water particles are evaporates, and then ink should be stays under on the watch glass. Okay, so this ink fully vaporizes. Okay, that is evaporation. That's here, done here, and then on to the next method, crystallization. So the next method, crystallization. So the crystallization form. So in evaporation form, in olden days they are using to separate the salt from seawater. Okay, they are using evaporation method to separate the salt from seawater. Okay, but that is not, from that evaporation method we can't get the pure salt in it. Okay, pure salt in it. So by crystallization form we can get the pure salt. Okay, so that is, we are taking water in the beaker, okay, and then we are adding copper sulfate to it, that is 1 or 2 drops of copper sulfate on the beaker. Okay, so from that method we can separate. So that it is not given in your textbook. Okay, see here we are taking a beaker like this. Okay, in this we are taking a water. So here we are starting pouring the copper sulfate solution, CuSO4 solution in it, few drops. Okay, not more, few drops to it. So this makes a crystalline form. Okay, this makes a crystal form like this. Okay, so this makes a crystal form. So on the pure salt in it. Okay, so this is the method of crystallization method by separating the mixtures. Okay, that is, the salt should be separated like this. Okay, in the crystal form. So while heating this by using a burner. Okay, so here also there is a crystallization form by separating. So the water particles are evaporation. Okay, that is, it vaporizes, and then the salt can be crystal. Okay, we have left it for few minutes. It should be crystallization form. Okay, so the crystallization form, we are adding copper sulfate solution to it, so it can be changes into the crystallization form. What can be changes? The salt. Okay, the salt content which is present in the sea water, that salt content can be changes into crystallization form. Okay, understood? Okay, so then we move on to the another part. So before moving this, you can see the process of this crystallization. So cooling a hot concentrated solution of a substance to obtain crystals is called crystallization. So while heating, we can use this. Okay, that is the seawater. We can heat. Okay, so then we can cool it by adding to copper sulfate. So after leaving this some time, after adding the copper sulfate solution, so we are leaving some time to cool it. After cooling, it makes a crystals form. Okay, that crystal form we can say it is a crystallization method of separation of seawater from the salt. Okay, so salt from the seawater. Okay, salt from the seawater. Okay, the impure solid substance is dissolved in the minimum amount of water to form a solution. Okay, the solution is filtered to remove insoluble impurities. In this method, the crystallization method, we can separate the impurities from the solutions. Okay, that is copper sulfate in a crystal of solutions. Okay, so this is the method of separation of crystallization form. And then we move on to the chromatography. So chromatography. Okay, can you understand the crystallization method now? So then we move on to the chromatography method. Okay, so chromatography is a technique used for separation of these solutes. Okay, some of the solutes that dissolve in the same solvent. Okay, in very small quantities. The most common being paper chromatography. Okay, so it is a technique to separate the things. Okay, that is some of the solutes, separation of some of the solutes. It can be dissolved in it. Okay, the same solvent. It can be dissolved in the same solvent. So this separation is based on the fact that two or more substances are soluble in same solvent, but their solubility may be different. Okay, so in a same solvent, we can be dissolved in the some 2 or 3 solute particles, but the solubility may be different. So one solute particle